Thank you for listening to the show on Really Big Something channel. September 22nd, 2017.
Did Aaron Hernandez's CTE, in other words, his brain damage, did it cause him, or was it a major factor in having him commit murder? This is now what many liberal media outlets are openly asking in the wake of yesterday's revelations through a brain scan, as researchers looked at the brain of the late New England Patriots tight end, Aaron Hernandez, who, by the way, was a convicted murderer, committed suicide in April, yet a posthumous examination of his brain apparently showed that he had a severe form of a degenerative brain disease known as CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, in other words, known as CTE, that this, they said, was so bad that at the age of 27, they could not believe how advanced and severe it was. They usually only see this kind of brain damage to players well into their 60s. And so according to, for example, to the New York Times, to the Boston Globe, to CNN, to numerous liberal media outlets, they are now openly saying that perhaps it was CTE that caused Aaron Hernandez to behave violently and erratically. They say that when you have CTE, and I'm just looking at the New York Times story, that this causes erratic, violent behavior. It leads to a lack of impulse control. The CTE is often marked by problems with controlling aggression, impulses, in some degree even dementia, as well as mood swings, lapses in judgment, and a disorganized manner. I'm quoting directly now from the New York Times. Even though they admit that the researchers, quote, did not make a direct link between Mr. Hernandez's violence and his disease. So the researchers may not be making a direct link, but the New York Times is, and the Globe is, and generally liberals in the media are. And so piling on top of all of this is, of course, the lawyers. And so Hernandez's lawyer held a press conference yesterday with members of the Hernandez family, and now they are suing the NFL for $40 million, saying that they are responsible for why his 4-year-old daughter now no longer has a father. And according to them, it's because the NFL is covering up the problems they have with concussions, the problems they have with brain injuries or brain damage caused by playing the game that is just so violent, and that because they were covering up the sort of concussion issues and the brain issues that you come from playing this contact sport, that the NFL is responsible for Aaron Hernandez having brain damage, and ipso facto, I kid you not, for why he ended up murdering Odin Lloyd and why he ended up committing suicide. So they want to sue the New England Patriots. They want to sue the NFL. And not only that, they also want to sue, I swear to you, the NCAA, because he played college football at Florida University. And they also want to sue Florida University, the Florida Gators, because they also believe he may have had brain damage while he was playing college football. So basically now, the family has no money. And now they're on a major fishing expedition to try to get whatever cash they can blackmail out of either the Patriots, the NFL, Florida University, or the NCAA. Listen to his shyster lawyer say, we want the money and we want it now.
We have submitted his brain for testing and to determine if Aaron had suffered from chronic traumatic encephalopathy, also known as CTE. Prior to announcing anything, I'd like to thank Dr. Ann McKee and her entire team for all of the hard work that they have done and the professionalism for which they've shown us. The results of Aaron Hernandez's tests were positive. Aaron suffered from a severe case of CTE. Not only were the results positive, but we're told that it was the most severe case they had ever seen in someone of Aaron's age. Aaron Hernandez had an advanced stage 3 of CTE, which is usually found in the median age of a 67-year-old man. I will say, for lawyers representing athletes of contact sports, that this is something you should definitely consider having your clients take some of the presumptive tests that are available. It's something that we considered as a team, but did not pursue simply because his defense was one of actual innocence and not one of mitigation. It's something I deeply regret. Today we're also announcing that my team has filed a federal lawsuit suing the NFL and the New England Patriots on behalf of Aaron Hernandez's daughter, AVL Hernandez. That lawsuit was filed this afternoon and will be made available to everyone afterwards.
This is disgusting. I mean, now you're even pimping out the kid, the 4-year-old girl. First of all, let me just say this, okay? A couple things need to be said, and then I want to throw it open to you. 617-266-6868 if you want to weigh in on this. To me, point number one, if you've been following this in any way, shape, or form, you know that there's no money left. There's no money left for Hernandez's girlfriend, for the family, for nothing. So they have no money. To me, this is a naked cash grab. This is now simply an attempt to use this guy's suicide and whatever the brain scan showed about CTE and use it as an excuse to sue. To go after the Patriots, to line their pockets from the NFL, from the NCAA, from Florida University, sue anybody they can possibly sue. And somehow bring this 4-year-old girl into this saying, oh, she lost her daddy. Okay. She lost her daddy because her daddy murdered somebody. She lost her daddy because her daddy committed suicide. That's why she lost her daddy. So if there's anybody to blame, it's Aaron Hernandez. Don't blame the CTE. Don't blame the brain damage. Don't blame the NFL. Don't blame the Patriots. Don't blame anybody. Okay? He's to blame. Now, furthermore, and this gets to me the heart of the issue. We're dealing with grown adults. Does anybody now not know that playing football can lead to traumatic brain injury? It's like smoking. You know when you smoke, there's a good possibility you're going to get lung cancer, throat cancer, oral cancer. You know there's a good chance you're going to get cancer. Well, it's the same thing when you play professional football or college football. That if you're going to play at that level, with how big they are now and how fast they are and how hard they hit, you're going to get concussions. And if you keep getting concussions, over time, you're going to get some serious brain injury. So the players know what's involved. They're adults. And to me, what is really particularly disgusting is they make, which is fine, God bless them, they make millions and millions and millions of dollars. They know what they're doing. So why are you now trying to essentially criminalize what consenting adults are doing? They know what they're doing. And frankly, for many people who play in the NFL, and let me even put a little racial spin on this, because it needs to be said, for many minorities, and I'm not just mean Latinos, I mean for African Americans, for many of them, and whites, but a bit to a lesser degree, it's their way out of poverty. It's their way out of poverty. Now, they know the risks. We're all adults. There's something called personal responsibility. So don't blame the concussions and don't blame the brain damage. And finally, let me just say this. They're acting like he was the only one with CTE or somehow he had this incredibly severe form of CTE. Junior Seau had brain damage. Kenny Stabler, there's many others. They didn't pick up a gun and kill people. At worst, they committed suicide. In other words, they harmed themselves. Suddenly now having CTE doesn't justify or rationalize or excuse you taking a gun and shooting somebody in the head. Because by that logic, well, anybody has a brain injury or anybody has CTE or whatever, well, that's the reason why they killed somebody. No. Nobody forced him to play football. No one told him to play pee-wee football, high school football, college football, professional football. He chose to do that. Nobody told him to shoot Odin Lloyd. He did that. I think he killed those two other people, but let that go. Technically, he was acquitted, okay? No one told him to be a gangbanger. No one told him to be a meth head. Nobody told him to be a drug addict. Nobody told him to throw crazy parties till 3, 4, 5 in the morning where he was stoned out of his freaking mind. Nobody told him to run with the crowd that he ran with. Hey. So now you bring out the shyster lawyers who are like, we want 20 mil, 30 mil, 40 mil for the children. One last thing. Whatever happened to working for a living? I'm talking now about the mother of that poor girl. What's wrong with simply getting a job? You have no money, that's fine. Aaron Hernandez, whatever, it all went to the defense fund or whatever it was. He shot somebody, killed somebody, was convicted, committed suicide. So what you do is to feed your family, here's what you do. You get a job and you provide for yourself and your daughter. Notice nowadays it's all the fast money, the easy money. Sue. No, not in Jeff Kuhner's America. It's work. 617-266-6868. I don't buy it. I'm rolling my eyes as I speak to you right now. This is another scam to try to sue the NFL. Agree, disagree. Lisa in Boston. Go ahead, Lisa.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi.
I love your show.
Thank you.
And I just have to tell you I'm a little bit in disagreement with you with regards to what you're saying about this, and I'll tell you why. You're saying nobody told him to get the gun. Nobody told him to shoot somebody. Nobody told him to be a gangbanger. Nobody, and you're going on. But nobody told him to go out and get a brain injury either. You're missing that whole piece of it. And what the medical statistics and what they're telling you is that these types of injuries may cause and can cause these types of behavior. If you're not in control of that part of your brain, you're talking about, rationale, response, et cetera, and the like, then you can't, there's a part of you that just cannot control it. I refer to it as, it's almost the same as autism. If you've met one kid with autism, you've only met one kid with autism because everybody's different. You don't know what was going on inside of his mind and his brain. Nobody knows except for him. And to label that saying, it's his fault, he did that. We don't know that. There's been, and I hate to even say this because your listeners are probably going to laugh, there's been episodes on Law and Order that actually replicate true life events and true stories, where sometimes people cannot control because of how their brains are wired. And that's all I wanted to say.
Well, Lisa, look, let me just say this. Thanks for your call. What I would just say is this. Everybody else who's had concussions or brain damage or CTE, and this is nothing new. Mike Webster, famous football player for the Pittsburgh Steelers, played in the 70s. I loved him. Apparently was drooling in his 50s or whatever, could barely talk. So this is something that's been afflicting players now. Really, it's not just recent. It's been 30, 40, 50 years. No one's picked up a gun and shot somebody else. Yes, there have been suicides, and usually it's because they find that the headaches are crippling, the pain, they can't remember anything, the depression, but, that leads to suicide. Okay, there I could maybe see an argument. But for murder? Now, and you mentioned Law and Order. Honestly, Lisa, that's where I think you shot yourself in the foot. That's Fantasyland. Moreover, Law and Order is an incredibly liberal show, very politically correct. I don't deal in fantasy, I deal in reality. And he knew the risks. His family knew the risks. In fact, when he was drafted in the 4th round, after he came out of Florida, he actually was working at some little job driving a $300 used car. So nobody told him to play in the NFL. He chose to play in the NFL. Well, if you're going to take the money, don't complain about the concussions. 226 here on the great WRKO. Okay, let me ask you this. It is the Kuhner Country poll question of the day. In the wake now of the brain scan and what the researchers say are the official results, do you believe Aaron Hernandez's CTE, in other words, his brain injury, did it cause him to commit murder? If you believe the answer is yes, it was a key factor, text the letter A to 680-680. If, like me, no, absolutely not, text the letter B to 680-680. As always, you can vote online at WRKO.com. Brittany, what are the poll results thus far?
91% no, and 9% yes.
Are you an A or a B on this one, Brittany?
I'm going to say no. I don't think that this is the reason why he supposedly murdered people.
I mean, you say it so almost contemptuously, sarcastically. Well, why do you say that?
Because I just don't believe it, Jeff. And I think when you're an athlete, and this is any sport, you know the risks that you take, that you are going to get injured, whether it's a brain injury or any other thing. You break your hand, you break your ankle, you break your leg, you break something in your back. That happens. Accidents do happen, but I kind of think that, the NFL kind of does cover up the brain injuries in their players. I think that a lot of them do have concussions, and they lie about it. Personally, I do. I think a lot of the coaches, a lot of the players, they know, but I just don't believe that this is what led up to Aaron Hernandez murdering people.
617-266-6868. Let me throw one more log on the fire. Should Aaron Hernandez's family sue the NFL? Do you think they have a right to sue the Patriots and the NFL? Mark on the North Shore. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, Jeff. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. I just wanted to say I've had 5 concussions, lost my speech and my sight twice as a youthful maniac like every other young boy.
Oh, my God.
I haven't killed anyone yet today.
Mark, if you don't mind me asking, what did you do to get all those concussions? Did you play football?
I was just fell out of the top bunk bed as a kid. One time on the back of a friend playing chicken onto the pavement, head back onto the pavement. Some bike accidents, and the whopper was in junior high. I was running after a tennis ball, and the guide wire I didn't see the guide wire because the net didn't come down as far as it should. Caught me in the throat. My body spun up in the air. It was 90 degrees with my feet over my head, 90 degrees to the ground. Straight down on my head was the worst one.
Mark, people report they get massive headaches. They feel disoriented, memory loss. You said you've gone blind twice?
Yeah, I lost my speech and my sight twice from the injuries.
But you, thank the Lord, you got them back, correct?
Yeah.
Your sight, you can see now?
Yeah, no problem. It was temporary. The second time was probably for about 24 hours. The first time, a little shorter than that. And, hey, I'm on a police department. I passed the psych test. I don't know if that's telling you anything, but...
Mark, any long-term, do you feel any long-term effects?
No, they told me I couldn't, if I took another blow, I'm going back probably a few years now, they said if I took another extreme blow, the damage might be permanent, but there was never anything like, you're going to be insane, you're going to do this and that, you're going to kill people. There was none of that. It's just you have to be careful about what shots you take to the head, which I think any young kid has to worry about. Any parent would know with a kid that they hit their head all the time. I just happen to do it in the extreme, and up until probably junior high was the last one. But that's life. I haven't killed anyone yet today, this week, or this month.
Mark, thank you for that call. God bless you, my friend. That's what I say. 617-266-6868. I think it's one big scam. Agree, disagree, more with your calls. Next.
WRKO, the voice of Boston.
2:37 here on the great WRKO. Okay, my friend, 617-266-6868. We're going to go right back to your phones, I promise. Aaron Hernandez's CTE, did that cause him to commit murder? And should he sue or his family, to be particular, he committed suicide. Should his family sue the NFL? But first, he always comes on at this time. Today, however, it has particular special meaning for me. He is the sponsor of the Kuhner Report. He always has my back. He always has the show's back, even though it makes him a lot of powerful enemies. And that's the one and only Bill Kelly, CEO, president of Bill Kelly Financial Services. Buddy, I am so excited about tomorrow's event. How are you doing?
Well, Jeff, there's sometimes you wake up in the morning and the sun's coming up, you call a friend, and then you say, my whole life has changed today. And Jeff, I think, you gave me some good advice this morning about, we've got to, if people are attacking us because we want unborn children to have a chance to come into the world, if people are attacking us because, the mayor of Boston didn't provide a life jacket to a young child, it didn't provide a lifeguard, it didn't provide proper care, and child died. And we can't speak up about that, but the illegals can have first-class treatment in Boston, Jeff. And we can't speak up about that, Jeff. We can't speak about the fact that we want people to live and we love God. We can't speak about these things. And you know what, Jeff? We can speak about them, and we have to. And you're exactly right when you gave me that advice today around sunrise.
Bill, look, I don't want to reveal too much of our confidential conversation. What we say stays with us, but Bill, I said this to you, and I'll say this again. I really believe that we're defined by our enemies. Not just by our friends, but by our enemies. And I think the fact that you have so many powerful people out to bring you down because of your support for this show, and frankly, the public positions that you've taken on your show on WRKO and other places, to me is a testament. It's a testament to your character. It's a testament to your courage. It's a testament to your principle, and it's a testament that you want to stand for something in this world. And so I know right now things are going to be tough for you and I. I embarrassed Elizabeth Warren. That video, as you probably know, is up on the Drudge Report. Fox News has been playing it. It's on the Fox website, the Daily Caller. Sarah Palin's retweeted it. So we've done a lot of damage to the lies and the deceptive veneer that Elizabeth Warren has tried to establish over the last couple of years. And now, Bill, they're lashing out because that's what they do.
Well, I had someone came onto my program to talk about the pro-life views, and they got a letter from somebody saying they represented Planned Parenthood, and it was a political statement that was made, and it was contrary to law to make a statement against what Planned Parenthood does, Jeff. This is threatening my guests on my show. I have a little tiny show. Nobody listens to it, Jeff. I talk about a farm because I had a son late in life, because the good Lord decided somehow Bill Kelly was going to come out from the mud and I was going to be redeemed, Jeff. Look, this is nothing compared to what I've gone through and what you've gone through in your life. I stand up. What I stand for is life. I stand for Americans. I stand for American citizens. I stand for us helping others. I give hundreds of thousands of dollars to black charities, veterans, Catholic charities. And I ask nothing back in return for that. And I don't want anything back. I want to help as many people as I can. But, Jeff, we have the First Amendment still, don't we, Jeff?
In theory, Bill. But the Moonbats want to get rid of it. And that's why, Bill, look, you and I have talked about this. And I really, let me say it. We say it in private. Let's say it a little bit in public. When you and I have talked about this, the leader of Italy, the leader of Germany, the leader of Britain, the leader of France, what do they all have in common? None of them have children. None of them have grandchildren. They don't think for tomorrow. They think only for today.
Correct.
You are a father. I am a father. God willing, soon you may even be a grandfather, hopefully when when your wonderful daughter grows up and gets married. So you don't think just for yourself, or I don't just think for myself. We think for our kids. We think for our grandkids. We think for what is going to come in the future. And that's why we defend the First Amendment. That's why we defend freedom. And that's why now, Bill, we've got to stand up to these thugs.
We've handed out toothbrushes. Veterans, people in Iraq did not have toothbrushes. And Kuhner goes to the Cape with half a truckload of razors, toothbrushes, CDs. What are these people? The veterans are being deserted. There's 22 of them dying every day of suicide, not just the people that can't get medical care. And we're worried about a 1%, a 10%, an 8%, you're this, you're that, you're a fascist, you're a Russian. Jeff, in all sincerity, due to the campaign laws, I have to invite Elizabeth Warren, and I sincerely invite her both on the 23rd, and obviously I didn't realize that Jeff Deal, I didn't know this thing was going to blow up to be so big, but I would invite Senator Warren, sincerely invite her for the 23rd, which she probably, with her schedule, is she can't. I'm not doing it because I expect her not to be there, but I will have a separate event for Senator Warren so that she can speak and we well received and well organized, because I didn't really know. I thought Jeff Deal was just going to come on and meet a few people. This thing's blowing up on us, obviously. I get it. We're going to have a quiet
Bill, look,
tomorrow.
I'm with you. No, Bill, we'll do another event. We'll do another summit. We'll do it. You want to do it at the Burlington Marriott? We'll do it. We'll do it again. And let's invite Liawatha. Let's invite, in all sincerity, Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Jeff, don't listen.
Oh.
I have to sincerely invite.
No. Sorry, I didn't mean that. No insults. No.
I can't do anything. I just want to say she's welcome to come to an event of her choice. We're going to have 12 more this year. We're going to have 3 before the election. She can come to any event she'd like, Jeff, and we'll give her as much time.
As much time as she wants. Senator, respectfully, Senator Elizabeth Warren.
That's correct.
Respectfully, she can come to all 3 events. And she can talk for as long as she wants.
I don't want to say she, but yes. So I have to do that.
The senator can come, and we'll even invite C-SPAN, and she can just rail against Bill. She can rail against the 1%. She can rail against you, against me.
She can rail against me. I'm a good target, Jeff. You know what I mean? I really think she's not. She got fun. She'll hack me all day, or whatever she wants to do. But she's invited. Everyone's invited.
She's invited. I'd love to meet her tomorrow. We can have another video conference, just a discussion. We'll have the video there, and I can ask her another question.
Well, I got the legalities out of the way, but Jeff, I got to tell you, thanks for being there at the dark hours of the dawn. And you know what? It's been a challenging year, but tomorrow's going to be a great day for you, and a great day for us, and a great day for the people of America. And
Bill, buddy, I got to ask you: are there still seats available? Can people show up to show their solidarity?
Our lines are shut down, Jeff. Thank you very much for shutting down my call bureau, Jeff Turner. But try to call, and please don't come if you don't have a seat, ladies and gentlemen. But Jeff, we had hundreds of calls today alone. So try, if we can get you in, Alexis will do it. But please, if you don't have a seat, don't come, because we can't let you in the building. It's all ticketed, okay, Jeff? Okay, you got it. Bill, I'll see you tomorrow. Hang tough. And Bill, thank you for your support. God bless. For standing with us shoulder to shoulder. God bless you, my friend. 617-266-6868. Okay. Call. Hopefully we'll have some seats available. Let's stand up to Elizabeth Warren and her thugs. Well, we'll just, they can call and try. 888-800-1881. Brittany's giving me this dirty look. 888-800-1881. Who knows? They call. Maybe they can get a couple of seats, Brittany. I would love to see all of you there.
He just said that the phone lines were down so why call if the phone lines are down?
Hey, look, he's going to try to get them up. Let's try to get as many people there as possible. Brittany's giving me this look. Okay. Did I make a mistake now, Brittany?
You don't listen, I don't think.
No, I do. Honestly, I just want to see him. Because, look, I know the kind of heat he's under now.
Right.
So I just want people to show their support. That's all. 888-800-1881, and maybe you can grab a seat. Okay, I hope to see all of you there. Okay, lines are loaded. Sean in Harrisburg, PA. Go ahead, Sean.
Hey, Jeff, nice to talk to you again, man.
Hi, my friend.
Hey, I wanted to make a couple of comparisons here. First of all, I think if you look up the statistics, concussions occur way more often in soccer, and you never hear about CTE in soccer. You don't hear about suicides or murders from the players in soccer from grade school all the way up to the pros. That's number one. Number two, concussions obviously occur way more than any other place than in the military, and including myself, that suffered a severe concussion with no helmet, mind you, on concrete back in 1988, and started having complications last year. And to find out what was going on, waking up with migraines every other day in both temples and just constant nagging of it every other day. But unfortunately, the VA wouldn't see me because of Obamacare, said I made too much money. So I can't take my service back, but they took my VA benefits away. But anyhow.
Sean, hold on. I mean, on the Hernandez precedent now, why don't you sue the military, Sean?
Well, because I'm not that kind of person. I have moral standards. Okay, so, the family's probably going to sue the NFL anyhow, so they might as well start renaming CTE the cash transaction effort. So they can move on with that and just get it over with, because the NFL will bend over and take it, and, just like the good little progressives that they are, and they'll pay out, in the name of the children or whatever it's going to be. But that's pretty much all I had to say about that. And
Sean, absolutely brilliant. Look, honest, and I want to thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. And, look, military members get concussions all the time. By the way, the sport that has the highest number of concussions, it's not football, soccer. Soccer. Because the ball comes in so hard, so fast, they keep doing the headers, it rattles the brain. Notice, the liberal media aren't going after soccer players. You know why? Because deep down, I believe that the left in this country want to get rid of football. I believe their ultimate goal here is to ban football. They want to ultimately ban the flag. They want to ban the national anthem. They want to ban the Constitution. They want to ban the Bill of Rights. And what is more American? It's baseball. Baseball's now racist, right? And outside of baseball, what is more American than football? It is a unique, distinctly American institution and an American game. And so I think they're using this issue of concussions to essentially beat the NFL with, to eventually drive it out of business. Just my opinion. Sean in Townsend. Go ahead, Sean.
Hey, Jeff. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Really enjoy getting out of work at the end of the day and turning on the radio and listening to you on the way home.
Thank you, Sean.
You're my therapy, social therapy.
Go, my friend. What's on your mind?
So today, we're driving home here and we're listening to the concussions you're talking about, Aaron Hernandez, and I say to myself, how does anybody even know that he got this concussion playing football? I mean, he could have been hanging around with the wrong people. Not that I think he would have. Got himself into a few fights, got beat up. It happens all the time. People get kicked in the head. I mean, how do we know he got his concussion playing football?
Sean, I got to tell you, that's another brilliant point. Thank you for that call. Look, what was the big rap on him in Florida? That he would go out partying all the time, and he got into bar fights. In fact, that was the reason why I think he went down to fourth round in the draft, because everybody thought he was toxic. Why? Because the guy kept, either getting the hell beaten out of him or beat the hell out of somebody else in these barroom fights. Plus, he's a gangbanger. So, sure, concussions will obviously cause brain damage. But believe me, you look at this guy's extracurricular activities. Hey, it wasn't just football. Believe me. Andy in Weymouth. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on, Jeff?
Hey, Andy.
Hey, I just had a thought that if he's going to sue everybody, how come he's not suing the gang? Because he was a loyal gangbanger. even after his CTE in jail, he got his, full life tattoo. So how come the gangbangers aren't being sued as well? And they're such an upstanding group, those gangs. I'm surprised they haven't passed around a few cards for his kid. Because, they stand by their members, don't they?
Oh, touche. Andy, touche.
Football team to you. Let's go with that. Whoa, wait, what is this? All right, me and Standish and Redding doing the anti-pep rally. We're pointing out that violent ground acquisition games such as football is in fact a cryptic fascist metaphor for nuclear war.
Well, it sounds like a lot of laughs.
Do you think the liberals want to ban football? Well, they're now saying that CTE, severe brain damage, caused Aaron Hernandez to be a murderer. Do you buy it? Tiffany on 495. Go ahead, Tiffany.
Hi, good afternoon, Jeff. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I just wanted to comment and have a question for you. My comment is no, I don't agree that the concussion was responsible for Aaron Hernandez's actions and behavior because everybody's different. 10 people could, have the same illness, but not all 10 people are going to react the same way. And my question to you is regarding PTSD. Do you think soldiers that go overseas and see all the violence and atrocities overseas, do you think that they're responsible for their actions when they come home after that?
Yes. Now, and notice PTSD, the media is trying to demonize the veterans, but rarely does PTSD lead to mass murder. I mean, it may lead to suicide, yes. Right. But rarely does it lead to mass murder. So, and notice, the liberals would never give a veteran a break saying, oh, he had PTSD, that's why, I don't know what, he, shot some gangbanger in an alley or something. They would say, no, he's got to go to prison. Well, it's the same thing with Aaron Hernandez. I don't see what the exception is for this guy, except that he was a football player. And again, look how the media is trying to turn him into a victim and a martyr. He wasn't. He was a thug, a criminal, and a murderer. Sean in Quincy. Go ahead, Sean.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent. On the PTSD and the veterans, I got a double whammy for you. Only because I've had a lot of concussions as a kid playing sports, in the Marine Corps playing football and doing some work. I've got concussions. Last one was about 4 years ago skiing.
Are you there? Yeah, I'm listening to every word. So, buddy, you've had concussions then, correct?
Yes, too many to count. And
Sean, have you killed somebody?
No, but I can tell you this. From the Marine Corps also, I took the malaria pills, which somebody's claiming the malaria pills caused them to kill some civilians in Afghanistan. I took the pills in the Gulf War. I've had problems from those. I actually get a VA check, and I have a great doctor in Quincy from the VA, so I know everyone says how bad the VA is. My doctor from the VA is wonderful, but those pills, I've had fibromyalgia, memory problems. Between the concussions and those, I've had a lot of problems. I've never wanted to kill anyone.
But I think, Sean, and your point is, but that doesn't lead you to cause violence, and it doesn't excuse you causing violence. No, I hear you. Look, I think it's a scam. I think it's just an excuse to sue. It's a massive cash grab. He was a gangbanger even when he was a little kid. That's Aaron Hernandez. Full stop. I gotta go. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
The voice of Boston is you. 680 WRKO Boston, 93.7 WEEI HD2 Lawrence, Boston. It's 3 o'clock.